it caught that bit or not, but it is started now. So. Oh, man.
My screen, you were still typing in the titles and stuff.
It was in that loading process but oh, right. Let's see. No blood. All right. That is not where that needs to be. There we go. Yeah. Oh, poor Assassin's Creed.
Hey, what are you talking about, man? It's rounding 2 million players somehow, mystically, against all odds, numbers, reality, truth, justice, and the American way.
All right, let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus, and I'm here with
Q.
All right, let's get started. Oh, man. Now, like I was saying, Assassin's Creed, dude, claims to just hit 2 million. Where was that one? There we go. Assassin's Creed Shadow hits 2 million players.
A lie ain't nothing to tell. I mean, I think you solved the mystery, didn't you? Didn't you go in and like say that, you know, they're probably counting every touch they get on the subscription, even people that turned it on said, oh my God, what the heck, and turned it back off and all of that. Because even one of the sites you were looking at, they pointed out how they're counting players and not copies sold.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is a strategy that's used to try to make it look like your game is successful. But we all know that what counts as a player, well, first of all, it's impossible to prove it. You can't catch them in the lie because you can't prove how many people might have turned it on. You really can't. They can make up any number they want.
No, and I mean that's
people played the game.
I mean that's sort of one of the sucky things about digital is back when we sold physical copies, we knew how many physical copies were no longer on the shelf, you know. But with digital, we easily can get away with, oh, well, I mean, we have 2 million players. Okay. How many did you sell? You know,
whatever we want to say. Yeah, like you say, whatever we decide to say is, and that's my point, is that it's a lie ain't nothing to tell, man. You know,
and I mean, the concurrent count, Will says that doesn't say concurrent. And it's like, no, obviously not. Concurrent count's way lower. I mean, we have a concurrent count on Steam of 64. Now, their 2 million players is also across Xbox, PlayStation, stuff like that.
Ubisoft, I think, may have its own store.
What we tend to use concurrent players for is to sort of determine, based off of sales of games, we do know how many copies were sold. And usually when you see about 64,000 concurrent players, that is not a 2 million copies sold type of game. I mean, we know, let's see, Kingdom Come Deliverance in its first week sold 2 million copies.
Yeah, and it's concurrent. I've got it here. Oh,
and its concurrent was around 256,000, which is, 4 times.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's closer to what you expect, because if you put in a factor of 10 times, that concurrent player as copies sold, or less than that, it's not even a full 10 times, you go look at game's so forgettable, I forgot the name. Shadows, there you go. Assassin's Creed Shadows, and you go, yeah, they're claiming to have like closer to 300-400% sales over their concurrent, which is a bit wild.
Well, I mean, the other reason why this is also sort of interesting is because it goes to the whole of Ubisoft and how they're trying to say things. So They claimed 2 million players, which honestly, I mean, 2 million players was a success for Kingdom Come Deliverance because Kingdom Come Deliverance was an indie game that cost a lot less than this game. Also, we don't really believe the 2 million because it also mentions players, not copies sold, which you can get players from a lot of different locations. You know, people who just have a trial, have a subscription to something where they poke the bear. There's a lot of ways to get an extra player count if you're just talking about the number of people who poked at it.
Yeah.
The other thing is another one of their statistics that they tend to clout is because so many people are using concurrent as gauges for games now. They go, oh, well, we did better than concurrent than the last, several Assassin's Creed games. But the thing is, what they don't say is the last several Assassin's Creed games were not released to Steam on the initial date of release.
I think this may be the first one.
Yeah. Well, I think since the original. I think maybe some of the earlier ones, like a decade ago.
The first one to be released same day. I think this is the first one.
Maybe the first one. But I know in the last decade, just about, Ubisoft has not released anything to Steam on day one. So now that they're using we beat our past game Steam concurrent records and saying that's a success is not a valid comparison because those games were released late to Steam. And any game that's released late to Steam has historically had a very low concurrent count.
Okay, to give you an example, Stalker 2 has been reported to have sold 6 million copies at this point. But it sold about 1 million copies within 48 hours of release. Its concurrent was over 200,000. Okay. 200. Oh, no, I might be wrong. Maybe 100. 121,000. And that's the all-time peak just for, yeah. So 121,000 copies, 121,000 concurrent players is a game that we know sold 1 million copies within 48 hours, and then is estimated to be at about 6 million. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
And it's been 48 hours for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's at half of that number. Yet, they're claiming they've sold more copies than a game with twice their concurrent in that same period. Now, here's the big thing, too. We covered it last week, Zeno. They're getting sued and attacked by their shareholders for lying.
Well, yeah.
So, this is a company that's literally getting hit for lying to its shareholders, and they're still doing it. Because apparently they think they're going to be able to lie their way into not going out of business. But show them what I found. Show them the stock. I got curious and pulled up their stock chart. And this is the saddest crap I've ever seen. Game comes out on the 20th there. And it spikes like you'd expect. 20th. By the end of that day, that same day, it's cratering. It craters down on the 21st, and then by the end of the 21st, it's lower than it was before the game came out. You did not sell millions of copies if your stock plummeted in a 24-hour period.
Well, I mean,
this game.
The thing is we've got lawyers. And lawyers are going to stop you from bad-mouthing our game.
That probably didn't help the stock. That may be very integral to the stock drop. Because that is the weakest stance you can take of a product in the world is to go, we're going to sue you if you tell people our product is bad. And it's like, is it actually that bad that you're going to do? Plus, they ain't got the money. We look at the stock. They ain't got the money. Everybody's scared of them. They ain't got the money. They'll go out of business. They'll have to let go half the staff just to hire the lawyers because they're losing money. But I've never seen that fast a drop. Is there any game that's ever been released that killed? I don't think Concord. I never thought I'd say this. I don't think Concord hit the stock like that.
I mean, the company went out of business, dude. It hit the stock pretty hard when it went to zero.
I said that fast. I believe Concord floated for a day or two, but dude, Assassin's Creed went up and it fell off a cliff like immediately.
I think that company was too small to be publicly traded. So,
well, maybe you have to check Sony stock to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, normally you expect a grace period of a couple of days. You don't expect the stock market to react that fast. But I understand the reason why is what you just said. This was big. Assassin's Creed Shadows needed to succeed, and it didn't.
And I won my bet.
It didn't. Huh?
And I won my bet.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I took the under on that, and I knew I did. Assassin's Creed, I remember saying Assassin's Creed is a way bigger franchise than Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I also didn't expect Star Wars Outlaws to do that bad, because when we looked at the Steam charts, oh, my goodness. Like, on Steam, that thing that didn't even make indie game numbers. Like, it was like 2,000 all-time or something.
3,000 something. But
3,000. Give them another 1,000, ain't going to change their fate. But the horror of this is that Ubisoft is trying to lie their way out of it again, which is insane. I can't believe that they've got outlets pushing this. It's this. And it's like, dude, we can go look at your money. I'm sorry. You can lie to a lot of things, but you can't lie to the stock market. Well, you can, but not for long. And the stock market says you're dying. Stock market says you're dying. Now, you going to go sue the stock market? That's your next plan? You going to go after the stock market? Because that's what they're going to need to do. Well, that's a fun story because they're sitting up here, they're threatening people, they're lying about the game. Or if they're telling the truth, then they're doing something I've never thought I'd see in my life, Zeno. They're somehow managing to fail while doing well at the same time. And that's magical, you know. They're pulling off, they're chewing bubble gum while walking and talking.
Well, did we ever get a budget on this, though? I mean...
Oh, goodness, dude. This game that they redid over and over and did all those advertisements for and events that failed horribly, what do you think? It's got to cost an arm and a leg.
Let's see. Estimates place it between $250 million to $350 million.
Oh, crap. That is massive. That's a high budget game.
Yeah. Now, once again, we compared it to Kingdom Come Deliverance, which had a budget of, I think, $88 million.
Yeah. So the numbers they're saying, even if they're true and we're grossly incorrect on that, they're still failing. They still don't have enough because, I mean, $250 million, no, that even at $70 a game, that's not going to get them to even break even. So, wow, isn't it a shame when you're claiming this big number and that number's still not enough? That's just like bad.
They say it needs about 7.1 million copies sold to break even. Between 5.1 million and 7.1 million copies to.
Jeez, dude, Stalker 2. So it needs to be one of the highest selling games of the entire year.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, Stalker 2 6. It needs to be one of the highest selling games of the entire year. And is that to break even or to profit?
That's that. I think that's the break even.
Oh, Ubisoft. To quote,
the break even.
Sterling. You know, gotta give shout out to the quote, but Ubisoft. You know, just wow. You know, that is wild. They're screwed. They're screwed.
This data comes from Tip Ranks, so just a source where we're getting this from.
And look, they're saying it hasn't sold 1 million units yet. We know they're trying to, like, players ain't copy sold, man.
But yeah.
It don't matter how many people go through the drive-thru at McDonald's. If they're not buying burgers, it don't count. You know what I mean? You got to actually be making purchases here. And honestly, with them having that on, because wait a minute, Assassin's Creed Shadows available on their subscription? Did they allow that to be a day one?
Yes.
You might not even be right. It is a day one. Seriously, you can play it for free with the subscription.
Well, the subscription is you have to have the premium subscription, which is $17, or if you get it yearly, it's here's the subscription cost here. You can see $17.99 per month. If you look at their games, Assassin's Creed Shadows is listed here.
That's a loss for them, though, because you get all their games, so that's not good for them.
So Assassin's Creed Shadows is included in that. You get all the games at the $17 or $100 a year price.
So they're losing on that deal. That's not a benefit to them. They're losing on that game. They needed to sell copies of this game. And you know what? You just found the players. If they do have those players, well, yeah, dude. If I am paying $17 a month, I'd give the game a spin. I mean, heck, I almost played Avowed on Game Pass.
I did. I had Ubisoft subscription for a while. It's how I played Valhalla and several other games. And I did this one. I dropped $107 for a full year, and I don't feel like I got $107 out of it.
The problem, though, is that the way the games sell this time, that's still not a win for them if you buy the year, because that's just the deluxe edition of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So they're not making their money back on that. Not for this game, not a $250 to $350 million game. I'm just saying that it's a loss. The Assassin's Creed Shadows being on the subscription is a loss for Ubisoft. If it was going to sell, let me rephrase that. Well, no, because they would have sold more copies. I do believe.
I don't think they would have sold that many more copies, dude. And they wouldn't have been able to tote that 2 million number, because I think a lot of people dipped a toe in that would not have paid. Because you've got a lot of the players who play the Division and play the Ghost Recon, stuff like that. Is probably what most of your subscribers come from. Similar to, I would say probably a lot of the boost on Xbox's subscribers came from Call of Duty. It's the shooter games that gets a lot of those subscribers. It's not, and then people dip their toe in these other things.
I mean, maybe. Like I said, that's what I think. I don't know. I think they would have sold a few more copies. I'll give them that. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows, dude. A lot of people don't pay attention. The truth is, a lot of people don't pay attention. You got to remember that it's less than 50% of the customer base that stays informed on the news around the game, other than watching trailers. So I believe they would have now. Maybe not enough to matter, but I don't think having it on a subscription benefited them. Because here's the other problem. There is one possible downside, which is a lot more people know your game sucks. Like you said, people will stick their toe in. They'll go, let me try this. Oh, God, this kind of sucks. What the heck is Ubisoft doing? This game sucks. You might have just had 2 million. You might have had an extra million people find out your game is trash. Or
that's true.
Or that it's got, I was about to say the other word, or that it's got, messaging that you did not expect and you have a problem with. I mean, let's be real. The average person doesn't want to see what they did to Yasuke. I've watched the romance scenes, seen several of the lead up. And I can tell you right now, 90% of the brothers I know that was like, oh, I get to play a Black Samurai. And they get in there and find out, they'd be like, yo, what the hell? Why is this dude flirting with me? Like, you could actually end up exposing yourself to a lot of people that wouldn't have known that you were taking this direction with your product, which can be negative, because no matter what fairy tale people want to tell, the numbers are not really in favor of that content. And while most people don't care, you become aware of it when you might not have been aware. Most people might have started Assassin's Creed, man, I play a badass assassin running around killing people. Then all of a sudden you turn on this game, you're like, man, what the hell? And you get what I'm saying? You might have also shown your agenda to more people as well, which is not always a good thing, because you can cause people to lose faith. We know people that will cancel their subscription based on stuff like that. It's just the truth. There are people that'll do that. That'll go, I won't support this company anymore. So it can go both ways. I mean, I don't think it was a good move. I think it would have been better to sell the game and kept it off the subscription so that they could have got a little extra money and less exposure than they maybe didn't need. But that's also because I think the game is trash. So
I do think it's funny though. It is. Like I said, I've been questioning Steam's ratings now for a while. Once again, we have a very positive rating for this game on Steam. But also, if you looked at the top voted comments, it's the negative ones.
I don't know, dude. I've seen a lot of odd Steam ratings. I don't know the trick. I don't know if it's Steam or if somebody's just found a way to fool the I don't know if I call it an algorithm, but fool the system. I think somebody's found a way to get around the system is what I can guess. But I would expect it to be positive ratings because people that don't like stuff, it's weird that the most vocal people are usually going to be the people who want to be the loudest. Most people that played Assassin's Creed Shadows are going to tell people it sucks. They're not going to go vote it down. Though it seems to have a pretty heavy amount of negative votes. That is odd. Like, when you pull it up, I'm seeing way more negative than positive. But you're saying that it's mostly positive?
Yeah, this is what mostly positive looks like, people.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe they found a way to game the system, man.
That definitely looks mostly positive to me.
Yeah, that does not. Wow, that's wild. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But, I mean, it's not the first game that we went and said, wow, that's odd, that rating on that. So, yeah, I don't trust the Steam scores like I used to. I look at the player count, who's actually willing to play the game. I mean, dude, Monster Hunter Wilds, conflicted ratings, one of the most played games, out there.
Apparently it forces Ubisoft Connect, has microtransaction in the single-player game. Can't play this game, a single-player game, because of issues with Ubisoft Connect account. Forced Ubisoft Connect account. So most of these downvotes are because of the Ubisoft. Probably because of the other downvotes that have say anything about the content is probably removed, but.
Probably. All right, here's an example. 59% on Steam still for Monster Hunter Wilds. 24-hour peak, 386,000. It's still banging out more than 250,000 after 22 days of release.
That's the thing that kills me, man. It's like, here's this game that is across the internet. You hear it sucks. It's not doing well. We see the numbers. Then we see the number of a game that has mixed reviews, but has the biggest numbers of several years for
Yeah, Steam ratings, like I said, are not very dependable. I mean, 59%, I think it may be one of the most played games on Steam right now, period. Because it's banging, like I said, over a quarter.
For a full-priced game, it has definitely got the highest numbers from what I can think of, in years.
And one of the biggest peaks, I mean, 1.1.
We're talking about Monster Hunter Wilds, by the way.
1,179,000. 1,179,000 as an all-time peak. It's crazy, dude. That's one of the higher peaks. It broke 1 million on its peak, and the drop, not that bad. 22 days, game's got 389. That's really good after 22 days, still up there for a 24-hour peak. Game's 59%.
Yeah, I mean, even Marvel Rivals has dropped down to under 100 peak, I think. And that's a free game.
Nope. 24-hour peak, 192,000.
Oh, okay.
64, it's all-time with 642. It's 24-hour is 192. Its current, an hour ago, is 181.
Okay. So, yeah, Marvel Rivals is still doing really good. Not as good as Monster Hunter, which people had to pay for, but...
Yeah, which is why you hear these crazy claims about, like you said, perfect example. You hear, and dude, it's only got a 79%. You know, it's not exactly banging a 90 or 100 for a free game. But yet you look at, they're trying to say Assassin's Creed 2 is doing well, and I'm like, really, man? Like, games with a fraction of your score and their stuff are knocking it out the park. And games that you know, people had to pay for. And, you know, all the people had to pay for it. If you look across the board, there is no way to get Wilds free. But it's all good, man. Yeah. I mean, it's an expensive game. It's going to fail. And the shareholders are going to be up their tail. The player count means nothing. They can try to say, well, it's got people getting to know nobody. Well, here's the only way they can try to spin it. If a lot of people bought the Ubisoft membership specifically around the time of its launch, they can try to say it sold subscriptions.
Yeah.
But the stock says that didn't happen. Like, the stock ain't implying that happened. The stock is implying they're dying. The stock makes it look like people started canceling their subscription, which is possible. There are people who spent $17 to try Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because, I mean, I'd do that. I mean, there was a game coming out on Ubisoft that I thought looked really interesting, but I wasn't sure. I'd be willing to drop $18 to take a spin. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lot. And then I'd immediately cancel if it sucked. I wouldn't even wait the 30 days. I'd go in and cancel it on the spot. Because I'm worried about forgetting. I've done that before where I go, oh, this sucks. Let me cancel it now so I don't forget in 30 days. And maybe that happened. Maybe some people signed up, you know, spike, and then people signed out. And they're like, wow, dude, all these people have already canceled their subscription. But anyway, that's enough on Ubisoft. We don't want to get sued.
No. Talk about people signing up to things, man. Remember that sigil, that virtual tabletop that Wizards of the Coast was going to do? I wonder how many people have signed up to that. That should be about done by now. That's been a few years in the work, right?
I mean, of course, man, it had prom. Who doesn't sign up for prom?
Oh, no. Wizards of Course reportedly lays off staff working on the virtual tabletop sigil.
Layoffs again, huh?
Yeah.
And what I understand, I think it's nearly all of them, isn't it? Like, it's a big layoff.
Roughly 30 employees working on Sigil were dismissed on Tuesday, including senior writer, VFX artist, and community managers. So that, so.
I thought there was a percentage there. 90%. Yeah. I looked it up. 90%. So it's 90% of the virtual, which means it's done. Like, it's done. They're not even doing it anymore. 90% is, you know, I mean, that's going to give Ubisoft a run for its money. Ubisoft going to have to up its game here in a minute when they get to working on that Assassin's Creed staff.
Yeah.
It's coming. But yeah. Go ahead, man.
As I was reading Will in the chat room talking about staring at this headline from inside his Foundry console. Yep,
Foundry is what we play on as well, Will. So yeah, Foundry's the place to go. Did you know that? Did I tell you that they started working on a anima?
For Foundry?
God Fantasy, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Got 2 versions they're working on. That'll be great because that thing's the math was the hardest part of that. So it'd be nice to get it to calculate it, wouldn't it? But no, man, this is wild because this is where they were going. They were trying to make the whole thing into a virtual game. But we know why. They were trying to make it a live service. I mean, it was very heavily aimed at monetization. From what I understand, like, you couldn't pull your player character sheet out of it, so you could only use it in there. Everybody had to have an account. It was very, very expensive and monetized. And not useful outside of. You literally couldn't take anything you've done and play it on a table because you couldn't extract it. So it was an attempt at a money grab live service for a game that doesn't work that way. That's not how you make your money on a TTRPG. But these people haven't been listening to us for years. You know?
Well, like it mentions, I mean, you already have much wider and open alternatives. Foundry, which has become the most popular, I've noticed recently. Roll20, which was the most popular before Foundry. I'm not familiar with Game Master Engine or Tailspire, but
they're all better than Vigil with its money grab, dude. It was a money grab. That's all it was. It was a big cash grab. and it was about as popular as a cash grab is going to be, which is not friggin' popular. You know, and it was also D&D, which was screwing. No, like unofficial. They're working on it, brother. We'll talk about it.
If you had Skype, Will, you could just Skype in, and we could just include you in this conversation. You know.
True, man. You want to just join in? You seem to know more than we do. But no, man. I mean, that's what gets me is that they've been on this path for a while. Like, what was that stupid college weird book they put out? And then the recent books that just skinned all of the races down to having no defining characteristics. You know what I'm saying? And even getting ridiculous where you got like, it was just such a rainbow party of stupidity when it comes to creativity where they just went, look, there's Asian dwarves and Mexican dwarves and all of this. And then you're like, okay, that's interesting. Where are they from? Where before the gold dwarves were from this area, there was a story. Oh, no story for where anybody's coming from or why they look like they do. But then you take the orcs and just go, screw it, they're Mexicans. And you're like, wait, what? Like, you're diverse over here, but you're not diverse over here. It was dumb. It was just really dumb, you know? Yeah. So, and then you turn around and you try to make a cash grab out of a game that has no heart and soul. Why would you play this? It has no personality. You stripped it down and then thought that people would pay for the privilege of playing this skinned and stripped down game. And we all know that I'm saying this because I'm mad about summoning. No, it isn't what you think. It's I'm mad about summoning. They screwed over Conjuration. I'll never forgive the new...
Dude, they screwed over everything magical.
No, I was done worse. Necromancy and Conjuration were boned. It was... Oh, that's a bad pun. Anyway.
You've been boned for a while, though, with that. Like...
It's not been getting better, but I didn't think it could get worse. And then I found out they just said, screw it, summoning spells aren't even summoning spells anymore. We're too lazy to try to figure it out. Also, the orcs are Mexican. I really can't get over that. I just cannot.
I know you can't, buddy. I know you can't.
Where did it come from? Why? I don't even get the reference. I don't even know what they're doing with that. I don't get it. I've talked to people, they can't explain it. I have talked to the most left-leaning friends I have and go, why are the orcs Mexican? And they look at me and go, we don't know. This is what I have been told. Nobody knows where that concept came from.
By the way, if you don't know, this is out of the new 5e stuff. And
they're just Mexicans, and I don't know why they're Mexicans. And I'm like, why are the orcs Mexicans? I don't know.
It's a bit of Mexican, a bit of maybe gypsy put in there with it.
I think that word is considered offensive.
Is it?
But I don't know. There's a lot of rules these days. Romani, I think, is what you're supposed to say, but I don't know. But the key point is, I think it leans more towards straight Mexican. But now I'm from Texas. I recognize this. Maybe other people that ain't from Texas don't recognize this artwork style. But I'm almost sure I could look up some stuff from Texas and find this picture where they just, like, traced over the characters dang near. But, yeah, and I'm just like, why are they Mexicans? I don't get it.
I will say there's some modern fantasy stuff that have made orcs like Cholo type.
Yeah, but that's awesome. I love Shadowrun. I played orcs in there specifically because of that. But that's Latino, and like I said, it makes sense because the orcs aren't... No, you're wrong. The orcs aren't Mexican. The Latinos are orcs because in Shadowrun, normal people got goblinized. They got changed. So you go, oh, then the Latino community got changed into orcs. But D&D changed orcs into Mexicans. I know that sounds weird, but it makes sense if you understand the difference. The orcs weren't Mexicans before.
Well, dude, I mean...
It's a weird choice.
The orcs were just tribal. But then they were like, well, tribal equals black, which is BS, and we know it's BS.
Don't get me started on that.
And so then they're like, well, we can't have that.
By the way, okay, now, why do you still think we're tribal? Who are you racist bastards on the left that think we're still out in the dang jungle chucking spears. That pisses me off. It's like, when are we going to be considered a part of the modern world? When are we not going to be seen where somebody goes, look, a dude in a loincloth with a spear and a bone in his nose. He's black. When is that going to stop? Like, God dang it, man. We're Black Americans. That has not been anything to do with us for a very long time. It is very annoying that that negative image just won't get out of their mind. But look at how they did the Mexicans. They didn't do modern Latino. They didn't do Spain. They don't look Spanish with the beautiful outfits and the colors and the what. No, they look like they're out in the desert. They ain't got no house. The kids are running around barefoot. It's a racist Mexican depiction. So everything's the worst possible depiction of the group you're trying to represent.
You could be space monkeys.
I don't like D&D. You know what? Fire everybody. Fire everybody. I don't know what to say. Just fire everybody. Everybody get fired. Everybody at D&D, all of them. Fire them. Hasbro, cut the chaff from the wheat. Just fire everybody. Every single person. Leave no one. Fire the janitor. Fire the window washer. Fire everybody.
Oh.
I wish, no, they don't mean saying Space Jammer, where somebody decided that the monkeys, the space monkeys, were black people, because the people, our allies, and those who are going to protect us, really don't seem to see us as people. It's like I said, they look at other races and they just see stereotypes, and that's why they see stereotypes everywhere they look.
This is a reference to this from a while back. If you're questioning that, it was what was the actual name of the race?
Don't care.
What was that?
Said don't know, don't care.
Well.
But no, yeah, they had a name, but basically they like I said, it's amazing that somebody had the gall to go, monkeys, they're clearly black people. And then D&D said, you're 100% correct, sir, and we apologize. And I'm just like, oh, help me. And the worst part is, this is old racism. Like, this is old racism. This ain't even the racist stereotype. They didn't put gold chains on somebody and gangster bandanas. No, they going back to monkey and tribal. Old racism. And I'm like, you dudes are outdated in your racism.
All right. Well, let's move on to something else. How about this? Super Smash Brothers creator says, instead of making more Americanized work, Japanese devs should seek the uniqueness and fun of Japanese games. This is a reference we actually heard from, I think, Square or or Capcom. I forget which one now, had mentioned before that they were going to try to do less westernization and more of what they're good at. But then we never saw that. So now another person inside the Japanese community is saying, let's make stuff Japanese again.
I mean, I'll be honest, dude. Look at what Western gaming is. I don't want to play westernized games.
Well, my thing
is the last time I've enjoyed a westernized game.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I used to play a lot of, Japanese companies' video games, and you played them because of their uniqueness and because it was different from what we had here, I mean, that's always been one of the joys of different cultures. I mean, dude, it's just like when you eat at a Mexican restaurant or a Japanese restaurant or something here, and they go too Americanized with the food. It's like, why am I even eating here then? I eat here because I like the culture and the difference from what I eat every day.
Yeah, I don't want the food to taste like what I normally eat. I want it to taste like something different. That's why I didn't go to Burger King.
Yeah.
Or Five Guys. I went here because I wanted something that tasted like we love going to our favorite Indian restaurants. The ones we go to are the most authentic we can find, because we don't want, curry that's been localized. We want it to taste different. I love a new flavor. I love to taste the cuisine.
It's those unique palate. You know, it's oh well, you have a different spice palette than we do. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I don't even.
Same
what's
thing
this?
in
I've
video
never had.
games. You have a different outlook than we do. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's why I think Assassin's Creed Shadows sucks. Just to kind of spin on it, from what I've seen, it doesn't feel. Watching gameplay, and yes, I do this because I don't like to just talk about something. I try to sit down and go like, okay, what are we looking at? It does not feel different from other Assassin's Creed games, Xeno. It's sad. It might as well be Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They did not get a single cultural feel into it. I like one person said, I'd rather be playing Tenchu Stealth Assassin. And yes, I mean the old school version. I'd rather be playing something else. They did not even slightly manage to give this game a unique feel at all. They just whiffed the whole thing. And I'm sitting there going like, this is no Way of the Samurai. This is no Ghost of Tsushima. It just doesn't, it lacks something. And I think it's soul. It feels too Western. Guess what? Last battle for Sasuke he has against his last boss, rap track again. Rap track. Yeah, they did rap music again. They did hip hop beat. Because it's not an Eastern game. It's just not. You know, and that's why it'll appeal to some people who don't care and weren't looking for that, but it's not going to appeal to people that were hoping to get a different experience. He's right. They need to make their games because I want to play their games. I don't want to play. If I want to play a crappy Western game, I can go on Steam. There's some crap out there. But you guys have a talent and a vision that's unique and your own. Don't mimic our culture. Our culture sucks right now. Maybe when we get our act together. But right now, the worst thing anybody can do is try to mimic Western culture. Just being real. The current version of Western culture is crazy, confused, and kind of perverted. So it's just pointless to even imitate it right now.
Well, dude, I remember how pissed I was when I found out that Mario was simplified for American audiences. And I finally got access to the Japan version, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah, man. I hate that. Oh, dude, rival schools. Man, me and Flynn and his brothers playing rival schools and finding out, and we got an edited version of the game, man, for America, because we were just like, this is some bull crap. I mean, that's why I had to get those, back in the day when you're young, you had to get the Japanese version of the game or find a way to get an emulator to do the Japanese version of the game, not because you were trying to not buy it. It's because the games weren't even here. They weren't available. Like, they didn't come over here. They weren't translated. And I played some terrible translations, like people doing bad software just to play the games because I didn't want whitewashed or I don't know, westwashed. Well, there you go, westwashed. I didn't want westwashed versions of the games. I wanted the OG experience. I didn't want westwashed. Dude, Final Fantasy, my favorite Final Fantasy IV, known as Final Fantasy II in the U.S., completely altered on multiple levels. And when I got to play the unaltered version, amazing. And I was just like, as much as I love this game, I would have been 100 times more in love with it had I gotten the OG version. So please, guys, make your games. Make your games. Now, hurry up and translate where the winds meet. God dang it. Get off your butt and translate it. All right? I don't want you to westernize it, but I do need some subs so I can play this dang game. Because it still ain't out.
I don't know. It still ain't out. The more information I get on that game, I'm more concerns I have.
Oh no! Don't tell me. Really?
You remember it released in China free to play as a mobile game as well, and has a lot of microtransaction type stuff. And
oh, it does? Oh, that's not positive. But I don't want my cultivation game. Well, you know what? There's a lot of other games being made. We've seen them. There's a lot of games on the way. Gonna have to play them on PC and Steam because, unfortunately, I will give this to Sony. It does seem like the most cultivation-style games that are coming out are being made for Sony and Steam. Xbox is just not even trying. They said they were going to try to get more games on Xbox. They're not succeeding at all, even slightly. I don't know. They're down. They're just off. They're just not even in the running. There is still nothing that even resembles an American release date. So you know what? You ain't got to worry about it. You're not going to get to play it. There you go. There's your answer. Can't be worried about something you don't get to play.
I mean, if they do release it in the U.S., I hope they release it as a take out the microtransaction chapter buying type thing and just sell it as one big single player game.
Wait. Did you say chapter buying?
That's what it sounded like. I've only gotten bits of information, so I'm trying to piece things together. But that's what it sounded like.
I've been trying to avoid spoilers, so I haven't been watching the stuff on it because I don't want to get spoilers. But now I'm thinking, do I need to sit down and go see what the heck's going on? Well, you know, what do we expect? But yeah, gaming's in trouble, guys. I mean, what's the next big game we're waiting on, man? You know, like we seem to have a free moment here. What's the next big game we're waiting on? Like, what is
probably Doom, Dark Ages?
Doom Dark Ages is going to be fun, but would I call that the next big game I'm waiting on?
I mean,
Doom's about 3 evenings of play and you beat it. I don't expect this to be something I'll play for a month. Let's be real. I love Doom, but Doom's not a long game. And it's not one that you really play through 4 or 5 times. You know, the big game is usually that game that's going to, like Wilds is doing now, it's that game you keep playing and you keep playing. What's the next big one that's going to be like the thing you put some serious time into?
Maybe Borderlands 4?
When the heck is that supposed to be coming out?
It's be coming out this year.
You believe that?
I mean, all I can go by is what I'm told, man. Like, I mean...
September 23 is what they're saying. Well, I hope they show us something before then. Because they ain't showing us the dang thing. We don't even know the name of anybody in the dang game. Well, any of the Vault Hunters.
But I mean, that's it for this year that I can really think of that's supposed to be coming out this year. It's Borderlands and Doom.
Oh yeah, that's pretty dang sad. I typed in upcoming games of 2025 and I got Tales of the Shire, Killing Floor 3, Doom the Dark Ages, Elden Ring Night Rain is gonna be something.
Not in something I'm anticipating, so.
Borderlands 4 is being mentioned, yeah. What's Lost Soul Aside? Oh, I remember that one. That comes out this year? That's the one with the dude that had the dragon who's looking for his sister. You know, he's running around, he's got the dragon following him, and he's looking for his sister. He's got on all black. Okay. I don't know if I call that a big upcoming game I'm looking forward to.
I mean, there's some things that have piqued my interest. Like, I'll probably check out Atom Fall. It comes out this month.
Oh, dude, Lost Soul Aside comes out in 7 days. It comes out on the 30th. On Steam. Okay. I'm going to go take another look at that game if it's coming out soon. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be something, the single-player game to run with while I wait for the Wilds update. But when does Atom Souls come out? Doesn't that come out like in a day or two?
Atom Fall comes out on the 27th.
Oh, dang it. So we still got a while. Got 4 days. Okay. So, guys, you heard it here. What's upcoming? I mean, Atom Soul, if you've got Game Pass or if you're willing to put money into it.
Atom Fall, not Soul.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the other one. Atom Fall. God dog it, that was for some reason hard to say. Atom Fall is coming out for Game Pass. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that you should buy the game outright. I think it's a Game Pass game because it seems like it might be a bit short. From what we've seen, it looked like it might be 40 hours or under, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely something to look forward to, but I will say probably you don't want to, run out and
wait for some people to play it and get some unique opinions of you.
If you're gonna buy it, yeah. You'll know. Lost Soul Aside on Steam comes out on the 30th. It looks interesting. I mean, if nothing else, it is $59.99, but it's an RPG. It's a JRPG. And I'm going to find out more about it. So I'll have more for you it'll be out by then. Dang. Maybe we'll do another video. If I decide this game is really promising, then we'll do one of our rare things and we'll browbeat Xeno into posting another vid. And we'll get a vid out talking about it. But that's it, really.
If Will's still on, there's a new Rune Factory game coming out in August.
Oh, yeah. What is coming out next month? What's April? Like, can we do a quick forecast for April?
I mean, April, you have South of Midnight.
I mean, good stuff. Let me see. April. All right. Wow, I do not know any of this.
Forza Horizon 5 if you're a car person.
You can buy The Last of Us Part 2 again remastered because, they're just going to keep selling that. Yeah, South of Midnight's on the list. Wow. What's Descenders next? That's coming out on Xbox. Huh. Look that one up real quick, man. See what that is. Descenders next. Let's see. Nope. Nothing. Nope, that looks bad. That also looks bad. That doesn't seem interesting.
That's not even on my list for April.
Wow. Descenders next is not even showing up for you, huh? Fatal Fury City of Wolves, if you're into Fatal Fury fighting games. They remastered Days Gone. Wow. Yeah, April's a dead spot, guys. So we may have to come back and tell you about Lost Soul Aside to get you through April, because it looks like other than Atom Fall and Atom Fall's the Game Pass game. And like I said, South of Midnight comes out. I don't know when though in particular. Let me see. What's the date on South of April 8th, which also will be on Game Pass. And hey, man, give it a spin. I honestly, the game looks like a very interesting concept. Maybe the main character won't be as abrasive to you as it is to me. My main character means a lot to me. It's how I interact with the world. It colors my ability to enjoy the game dramatically. But for some people, they can enjoy the game world, like Xeno. Xeno can block stuff out so much that I'll say, man, can you believe such and such happened? And he'll be like, huh? He don't even remember the scene happening. He just quarantined.
Dude, I tell you, I've talked about this before. I'm bad. Even when I'm reading a book, sometimes I have to go back several chapters because I will enjoy the direction that it's going, but I'll think of a better direction, and I'll just all of a sudden get in my own head and will be like 2 chapters deep, and it not be what is actually on the page because I just created something completely different. I'm like, oh crap.
He really does this. We read a lot of the same audio novels because we suggest to each other. And this dude, I'll be like, man, I can't believe that he did this. He'd be like, no, he didn't. He slapped that person and backflipped out the window and rescued his sister. And I'm like, that's not what happened at all, man. And I just found out that he's just rewriting the book because he's an up and coming writer too. He's looking into that. So his head, he's writing a better story. So I'm over here going like, that's not what's happening. What do you mean that's what happened? And then he'll go, what? And then he'll come back later and go, man, I went back and yeah, you're right. And I'm just like, wow, dude, your ability to zone out what you don't want is incredible. He doesn't play the same games we do. He's playing a different game. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So he can probably play South of Midnight and be like, dude, when my guy, he just changed it and was going around and I saved my mom and I was like looking at it and I was like, I'm going to save my mother. And I'm just like, she said, screw my mom, parents suck anyway. What are you talking about? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm up here like, man, have you seen any scenes like this? And he's like, no, man, it hasn't been that bad. It nothing happened. And I'm just like watching videos and I'm like, how did he skip all of those scenes? But in his head. Whoa. Wow. Lost Soul Aside is looking pretty good. I got the trailer playing. Kind of reminds me of like that Final Fantasy game meets Devil May Cry. This might be worth the play, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to see. Now, I'm not stupid. I ain't going to buy a day release. You let it hit. You let people put their hands on it. That's the golden rule. Oh, that was anime as hell. Okay, I do love anime. Okay. All right, sorry. All right, got distracted because I need something for April. But all right, guys, I think that's most of what we got here. I mean, as you see, not a lot happened except Ubisoft just digging a hole and jumping in it.
Disney's been digging a hole as well. If you want to talk about Snow White.
I mean, is it a surprise, man?
Also, there's rumor that once again of the Bobs getting removed, or the current Bob being replaced, and all that fun stuff. But I mean, it's Disney drama, and honestly, without Bloodaxe, Disney drama's not nearly
That's
as
the
fun.
thing, man. Without Bloodaxe here, I mean, I don't mind covering this in more. You know what? We'll have a whole other week of how bad it's doing to cover with Bloodaxe next weekend. All I'll throw out is that a budget of over $250 million for Snow White, which for one thing, I can't believe they're trying to tell me that Captain. That's all I want to say. They're trying to tell me that Captain America only costs $180 million, but Snow White costs $250 million. They're lying about the budget of Captain America: Brave New World so hard. There's action and explosions.
Man,
and
those
superheroes flying
those
around.
CGI dwarfs are.
Looking at how bad those CGI dwarves look, Captain America: Brave New World costs $500 million because it looks twice as good as Snow White. It has more celebrities. The only celebrity in Snow White is Gal Gadot. That's the only person you're paying any real money to. The other one's some Broadway singer chick. You don't pay Zegler big money.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Disney's stupid. They do stupid
I was
stuff.
about to say they probably threw money so that they could go, the whole women
but
and
Captain America: Brave New World has Harrison Ford, and he's in a decent amount of the movie.
yeah, but Harrison Ford is starting to look like he's getting dementia these days. They may have told him they paid him and they didn't.
That doesn't mean he isn't still expensive. There's no way Zegler got paid enough for. They would have to pay more for Harrison Ford to stick a foot on camera than they paid for Rachel Zegler to be in that movie. If Harrison Ford just stuck his shoe and wiggled it around, that cost you 2 Zeglers. No, I don't believe they paid her like that. They're stupid. Now, she can sing, and I heard she's not as bad in the movie as they thought. I'm going to be fair. From what I understand, she did Problem is,
just because she is an aight actor doesn't mean that she's did all right for the movie, though, because of the shit she said outside the movie. That's the
what
problem.
I've heard of the movie is that she's the worst actor in the movie, obviously. I mean, I think the CGI dwarves act circles around her. But I was trying to save some of that for a Xeno of just, for the Bloodaxe, because I'm like, dude, my big thing is that if this cost $250 million, Brave New World did not cost $180. I don't know how you do that.
All right. We'll wrap it up with that, guys. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links there where we are online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. And as every week,